If you liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. This video is going to be taking a look at the Adeptus Custodes Winners and Losers from the June 2025 balance update. We only had points drops in one of our units, the Adeptus Custodians. They dropped 5 points a model from 65 points a model to 60 points a model. This does not mean we do not have any winners and losers for the Adeptus Custodes. I can name one loser right now, the Orc Champions Detachment. Let's start on the positive side though, with the Adeptus Custodes Winners. Our first winner, of course, is the Adeptus Custodians. The only real change for the Adeptus Custodes in the entire balance update is to the Adeptus Custodes, going from that 65 points a model to 60 points a model. I have always said these were my favorite Custodes infantry unit. These being 60 points now is good for the Codex balance. They have seen more play in the lines of the Emperor Detachment with some Shield Host list as well. Those lists got a little bit better, adding an extra enhancement or a Psychona unit. The Adeptus are very deadly in the combat phase. The Guardian Spears have 5 attacks each, hitting on a 2+, Strength 7, AP 2, Damage 2. The Army Rule Martial Kata gives them either Sustain Hits 1 or Lethal Hits in the fight phase. They have 2 abilities. Slayer of Tyrants allows them to reroll wounds into character, vehicle, or monster units. Golden Light for a once per game return to reserves at the end of the opponent's turn. These going down by any amount of points is a win in my book. The next winner is the Blade Champion and Wardens unit combination. The reason I feel this is a winner is even though this unit is a staple in almost every GT winning list. All but the Solar Spearhead and some Jet Bike heavy list are using Wardens in their list. They took a points nerf last data slate, adding 10 points to the Warden units and 10 points to the Blade Champion. The fact that GW left these is great for our overall Codex balance. There's nothing really in the Codex that's too overpriced. There are a few though, and those are coming up in the loser section of the Codex. The Wardens are tough as nails, a once per game 4+ feel no pain for a phase. They also have that -1 to the wound roll if the incoming strength is higher than the Warden's toughness 6. The Blade Champion gives the unit reroll charges in a once per game advance in charge. The unit is still a Custodes unit, sustain hits 1 or lethal hits in the melee. The Wardens and Blade Champion unit has a lot of buff combinations with different detachments. A great unit, a winner from the fact that it was not nerfed again, even though we use these in quite a bit of our list, nor do I really think they should be nerfed now. The next winner is the Caladius Grav Tank. Once again, the Caladius Grav Tank escapes the nerf bat. This tank has been a staple of many GT winning lists and casual lists as our only and best dedicated anti-tank vehicle. The Venerable Land Raider or Allied Imperial Knights can give us that anti-tank. The Caladius is 215 points, 4 shots, hitting on 2s, strength 12, AP 3, damage D6 +2, with lethal hits into monster and vehicle units, and twin linked. Very reliable hitting and wounding. For being so good for so long, I'm surprised these have stayed at 215 points, or at least give the Venerable Land Raider a points reduction. I would consider the Land Raider at 220 points. Right now at 240 points, it's just too expensive, especially when these Grav Tanks are 215 points. Another clear winner and another balance state where they avoided that nerf bat. My last winner is the Lines of the Emperor Detachment. The fact that nothing has changed at all for this detachment makes me a happy golden boy. I'm very surprised that Admonti Mortis did not receive any points nerf. 10 points for one of the best melee buffs to a character in the game, you really can't beat that. +3 strength, +1 AP, and +1 damage on a Custodes melee weapon is one heck of a buff for 10 points. Lots of great stratagems, all of them only cost 1 CP. Great to see none of them receive that dreaded 2 CP cost nerf. On to our Adeptus Custodes losers. There are some clear losers, but there is not as many as some other balance updates. Our first one is that Orc Champions Detachment. I know Lines of the Emperor is still very new. I did not really expect anything done to help the Orc Champions Detachment. The detachment rule is decent. We can see what +1 to the wound roll can do army-wide with Lines of the Emperor if we get outside of that 6 inches of other units. The plus side with Orc Champions is we can gang up on units with that +1 to the wound roll. It's only going to be one enemy unit, but +1 to the wound roll really buffs up our Custodes. The thing that hurts this detachment the most is the stratagems only work on Custodes character models. The detachment rule and stratagems are not strong enough to support a bunch of solo characters, and that is how I feel the theme of this detachment is trying to be, solo character focused, and it just does not do that well. My next loser is the Shield Captain on foot. Not the Alara Shield Captain, the normal Shield Captain on foot. I think this unit has been in the loser section in every one of these videos since I started covering the balance updates. The Shield Captain on foot is not a bad unit, he is still a Custodes Shield Captain. Toughness 6, 6 wounds with a 2-up save and a 4+ invulnerable with 7 attacks with that Guardian Spear profile. The Strategic Mastery ability allows us to reduce a stratagem being used on the Shield Captain's unit by 1 CP. The reason the Shield Captain on foot is in this list is that second ability, Master of Stances. Master of Stances gives the unit he is in both kata stances for the fight phase. That is once per battle, and we don't really lack melee damage. The Blade Champion adds so much more potential to a unit, giving it a once per game advance and charge and reroll charge rolls, while also being 10 points cheaper. I would like this Master of Stances to be changed to allow him to have access to our lost third stance, that Capitari stance, for -1 to the hit roll in melee. If you had the Shield Captain in your list, he would have access to 3 different stances for his unit. I think that would be more interesting, give us more of a reason to take this unit in our list. Next up is most Forge World units. This is a double-edged sword. Either they are trash tier or in the very good tier. A Sagittarium deep dive video is coming out soon. Caladius Grav Tanks, Venatari, Telamon, Galatus, and Achilles Dreadnoughts. Other than those few units, Forge World units seem to be forgotten. This can be a good thing since they are more expensive and harder to get than our plastic Codex Custodes. Right now, with only a small Codex model range, we do need the Forge World units to help add some utility and choice to our list. My guess is we may lose access to some of these units in the 11th edition. Let's hope that the new Adeptus Custodes 30K plastic models can be used in 40K as well. Either way, I'm going to use them, even if I have to proxy them for some other models. Last up for my losers is Vigilators. This may just be me, but I think the Vigilators at 45 points for 4 instead of 50 for 4, as well as reduce the cost of that 130 points for a big 10-man unit. This would put them in between the Prosecutors 40 points for 4 and the Witchseekers 50 points for 4. I know we could argue the Vigilators are already good in some of the detachments like Lines of the Emperor, Talons of the Emperor, or Null Maiden Vigil. I would still like to see them go down in points, force my fellow 10,000, even myself, to use our Psychona units more. 2 attacks each, hitting on a 3+, strength 5, AP 2, damage 2 with devastating wounds. 10 Vigilators is 20 attacks. In Lines of the Emperor, we can give the Vigilators +1 to the hit roll and +1 to the wound roll, allowing them to hit on a 2+ with strength 5 with +1 to the wound roll. These things can become very deadly in some of these detachments. I think a bit of a points drop would really help them out. That's my Adeptus Custodes June balance update winners and losers. Let's move on to some final thoughts. These were my own Adeptus Custodes winners and losers. What were your winners and losers for this balance update, even though we did not see much change, considering we are around that 50% win rate? Seeing no changes instead of a wall of red points nerfs is a good thing. We do have some Death Guard that are going to be played on the channel against the Custodes soon, so I'm very interested to see how that's going to go and see if we can build up a game plan against fighting these Death Guard. Like always, if I've missed something, or if you have your own winners and losers, throw them down in the comments. Like and subscribe for weekly battle reports, list videos, and other Warhammer 40K content. Like always, thanks for watching, thanks for stopping by.